Hello and welcome back to, I think, what is now part 5. In this, we have a look at the steering clutch we've ordered. We go through the challenges we have with that, and we have a little look at the carburettor and make a new gasket for the rear end. We've received the replacement clutch pack and the grille, so we're making a little bit of progress. But as you're going to see in the footage coming up, is it hasn't worked out quite as good as we were hoping with the clutch side of things. Here you can see the second-hand steering clutch we ordered. I'm using the cordless grinder to cut the cage housing open so I can access the clutch pressure plate. The gentleman who sold us the steering clutch is trying to source us another plate if possible. If not, he's a real gentleman and he's going to refund us for this one.
I got myself a project, but it's nothing but a curse. Problems by the dozen and things are getting worse. It's a crawler tractor, as old can be, and everything is seized up, nothing on it's free. Make it run again like it did before. Save it from the breakers at the tractor heaven's door. Make it run again like it did before. Then it's cursal and there'll be no cursing anymore. Bought it to restore, have myself a little fun. Hoping I can fix it, once again she'll run. It will take some time and some patience too. There's so many little things that I have to do to make it run again like it did before. Save it from the breakers at the tractor heaven's door. Make it run again like it did before. Then its curse will end, there'll be no cursing anymore. Well, I've done a lot of swearing until the air was blue, using lots of funky words that I never knew. Make it run again like it did before. Save it from the breakers at the tractor heaven's door. Make it run again like it did before. Then its curse will end, there'll be no cursing anymore. Then its curse will end, there'll be no cursing anymore. Then its curse will end, there'll be no cursing anymore. Dang it, what's wrong with that thing now?
As you can see, the carburettor looks good on the outside, but once we open up on the inside, she needs a lot of work. Here we're removing the bush off the steering clutch fork with the burning gear. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Like I said in the first episode, the idea of these videos is to try and get 1,000 likes, as challenged by my wife. So here we're going to try and make a gasket for the top, just out of this sheet of gasket paper we've got. The plan is to put it down and try and get a template of what we need. I'm just going to use the ball peen hammer just to tap around the metal edges, which will then cut the gasket paper. you guys who can actually source these spare parts in the likes of the USA must be laughing at me here making a gasket for the rear end when they'd be, you know, probably $4 or $5 for you to buy, and we're here tapping them out with hammers and punches. So I've actually got some gasket hole punches. So the likes of these holes, I'll go around, I'll punch them out so they're nice and clean. I'll leave this centrepiece in because that's covering over the gears. The new grill we purchased is in a lot better shape than the existing one we had. A little bit of repair, these bottom sections up. The steering clutch fork has now had the bush removed. And you can see there, that's the inner part of the bush to it. And that's the outer housing, which is cast. It did actually crack when we were taking it off. But if you remember back in episode 2, we actually made a template of the top before we cut it off with a grinder. So now we've got the shapes we need to replicate and make the new parts. Like I say, these are also available to order from the USA. So when we get to that final point where we want to order the new parts, we can get some new ones of these, but we can make something very similar on the lathe just to do what we need them to do. I've had a look at the drive clutch as well from the engine, and the clutch lever itself, there's not a lot of travel in it at all, but the pressure plate is now released. We managed to free that off, and there's just not enough movement, so I need to look into the manual and see if there's adjustment on that and see where we're going with it. But my initial thoughts is if we can get the back end back together and see if it'll operate to bump start it, I think things might start and work a little bit better once we get it running. Right, so we've slackened the bolts on the pressure plate and been going around with a bit of brake cleaner getting it in, and we've actually got the clutch plate now itself, which is actually turning free. I think it was stuck on the flywheel. So we'll bolt it all back up together now and see how we get on. Please like and subscribe. It's free! I'd like to thank Jim for making the song for this video, and keep them coming.